Peru News Today. All you need to know about to Peru.
Lima 2027, the strategy to win the venue, $1 million investment and tentative date for the Pan American Games. Renzo Manyari, president of the Peruvian Olympic Committee, spoke with Infobae about the new national achievement and how it is preparing to host the most important multi-sport event on the continent. Lima, once again, will bring out its best suit to receive the best athletes on the continent. The capital of Peru will once again host the Pan American Games, generating happiness for all Peruvians. We went from yes we can to yes we could. The City of Kings beat Asunción by 28 votes and made the headquarters of the next multi-sports event its own. This is just beginning, because from now on there is a lot of work to do to live up to Lima 2027. Renzo Manyari, president of the Peruvian Olympic Committee, spoke with Infobae Peru and, among other topics, detailed the strategy that was used to celebrate the election in North American lands. It is always nice to bring joy to the country. It is necessary to highlight that Lima competed against two cities because Asunción proposed El Salvador as a sub-site for surfing. In practice it was Peru against two countries. These games must have a humanistic mix and put athletes at the center of the organization. They are the engine of this. The truth is that I didn't listen to it at first because I was very concerned about cross-checking the votes, corroborating who was well connected or not because the votes were by Zoom. We were clear about where the questions could come from, but we focused on the vision of sport, which is what we applied to the exhibition. We do not depend only on one government because we have been able to move from government to government. We have had different presidents recently, but it was always through the democratic channel. All our sporting processes have not been affected, quite the contrary. You focus on your abilities and skills. We focused on the attributes of Peru and that was the result. What is the next step after choosing Lima as the headquarters? What is coming is to sit down and review the contracts with Pan Am Sports, Legado and the national authorities. We, as an Olympic Committee, are not interested in managing public funds. Our role will only be technical. We have already fulfilled our first mission, which was to win the headquarters. We have to coordinate the contract with Pan Am Sports, coordinate the payment schedules that have to be executed and coordinate the sports part. Apart from that, the federations are integrated into the technical and sporting process. How much is the amount budgeted for the 2027 Pan American Games? We are budgeting an amount of $370 million, rounding. It caught our attention that the budget of Paraguay and El Salvador was $330 million. Us having something costs us that and them not having so much costs them something similar. It was an element that was under discussion. It's not just the infrastructure. The special legacy project works well, the human team is very good. This year alone it has 6 world championships, 5 or 4 are in August. In what specific points will it be invested? From a sporting point of view, we added cricket, lacrosse, flag football and squash. There are 4 new sports in the Olympic program for Los Angeles 2028. This requires that the number of beds you have in the village has to rise to 9,800, therefore we are obliged to build 5 10-story towers. We have to improve the rowing proposal that was compared to 2019 because it was held in Huacho and we want it to be in La Punta, Callao. It is a project that the regional government is looking at and they have an aquatic center in Callao that would be the modalities of canoeing. There are 3 important works that would have to be done. We have to pay the broadcast rights, and more to Pan Am Sports. In addition, the mayor of Lima, Rafael Lopez Aliaga, announced that the largest investment in the history of the municipality in terms of infrastructure will be made. We are talking about $1.3 billion. At the end of the year, we will have Terminal 2 of the Jorge Chávez Airport that will have the capacity to receive 50 million passengers. How do you take the criticism so that this money is used for schools, hospitals, among others? It is an element that is always mentioned, however I believe that sport also adds because to the extent that you invest in sport you also invest in health prevention. With the Pan American Games you also generate sustainable sports spaces that are sustained over time. At the Lima 2019 Pan American Games we have generated economic growth because we host many tourists. There was a sporting development of the Peruvian delegations, they were the best sporting results in the history of Peru. An important issue is that Peruvian athletes can directly qualify for the Pan American Games by being owners of the venue. When one holds international events in Peru, it allows those athletes who in other circumstances would not qualify, either because they do not have the resources to travel or ultimately do not have the technical level to be able to achieve the previous processes, to classify directly. That is a training session with the best at the continental level, in terms of athletes, doctors, coaches, etc. Is there a tentative date for the start of Lima 2027? We are ready for you to start at any time. We have to coordinate the date with Pan Am Sports because there are other multi-sport events during that year and we cannot cross paths. We plan to propose the month of September, but that will depend on the organizer and how the issue of infrastructure advances and more is handled. Have you thought about what the mascot would be like? Milka was the official mascot of the Lima 2019 Pan American Games and it worked very well. I would like it to be the same, but it can't be done. There will be another mascot that will have to be defined through a contest. Leave us your comment and subscribe to continue growing and follow us on our social networks, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and TikTok.
Peru News Today. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.